Hello, this is Sports 360 Degree, your weekly panoramic view of the latest sports narratives. Here we bring you a comprehensive view of the latest happenings in the world of sports. In this edition, we delve into India's unparalleled success at the ODI World Cup, dissecting their strategic prowess and highlighting the standout performances. Additionally, we analyze the lethal synergy of India's pace bowling unit, examining their pivotal role in Team India's success so far at the ongoing ICC ODI World Cup. Shifting our focus to the football arena, we cover the Champions League drama featuring powerhouses Real Madrid and Bayern Munich as they advance to the knockout stage. On the domestic front, traditional games stole the limelight at the 37th edition of the National Games in Goa. But first up, the cover story are tracking this week. India's unblemished run in the ICC ODI World Cup 2023 is underpinned by a dual mastery, exceptional bowling prowess in the power plays and the aggressive batting displays. The Team India's unprecedented success reflects a strategic shift under the coach Rahul Dravid and captain Rohit Sharma. This dynamic, aggressive approach stands as the decisive factor that could propel India to clinch the coveted ICC World Cup title. More in this exclusive report. India's dominance in the 2023 Cricket World Cup is rewriting the narrative of their cricket prowess. While renowned for their batting, the men in blue have unleashed a formidable bowling force evident in their unbeaten record and 8 consecutive victories. Captain Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli's stellar batting performances are complemented by an astonishing display of power play prowess. Surprisingly, the key to India's success lies in their power play mastery, evident in the 3 of the lowest scores in the tournament coming against them, with Sri Lanka managing a mere 55, the lowest for any ICC full-member nation in an ODI World Cup. The bowling unit's ability to dismantle oppositions, restricting them to minimal runs, stems from their remarkable performance in their first 10 overs. India's 18 wickets in power play at an average of 18.11 has set them apart. A mere 347 runs conceded in 480 balls, resulting in a run rate of 4.07. It showcases India's bowling efficiency. In comparison, South Africa, despite leading in power play wickets with 19, lags behind in other departments with an average of 25.15 and a leaky run rate of 5.97. Remarkably, the power play success is a collective effort for India. While South Africa relies heavily on Marco Jansen's 12 power play wickets. Meanwhile, India boasts a more distributed contribution. Mohammad Shami and Mohammad Siraj have clinched 6 wickets each, complemented by Jasprit Bumrah's 5. The batting unit is equally impressive, with Rohit Sharma leading the chart with 265 runs in power play, striking at 130.54 and averaging 88.33 after 8 innings. As a team, India tops the chart with 512 runs in power plays, outshining their competitors. This aggressive approach, a departure from India's traditionally cautious start, marks a significant shift under coach Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma. With a team strike rate of 100.83 and an average of 56.88, India emerges as a force to be reckoned with. The transformation from traditionally conservative approach to more assertive style could prove to be X factor as they aim to clinch the World Cup under the leadership of Rohit Sharma and the guidance of coach Rahul Dravid. Sports Desk, DD India. India's campaign at the ICC ODI Cricket World Cup has been exemplary as men in blue have won 8 consecutive matches. India's victory march has been aided by the tremendous form of its batters, pacers and spinners. India has reached the semi-final in an emphatic manner. DD India's Prateek Singh brings this exclusive report.
India's domination in the ICC World Cup continues as it has crushed opponents in its wake. Men in blue, as they are fondly called, are invincible so far, winning 8 out of their 8 matches. As a result, they have qualified for semi-final. Batters like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli and KL Rahul have dominated the proceedings. Pacers such as Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Sami and Mohammad Siraj have demolished opponents to paltry totals, while spin duo of Kuldeep Yadav and Ravindra Jadeja have bewildered rivals with their guile and accuracy. Indians have stamped their authority, but the beginning wasn't easy. They had a shocking start against Australia. 3 of their top 4 batsmen fell for duck, but Kohli and Rahul guided them to a 6-wicket victory. in the following encounters against Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and New Zealand, India cruised to victory. However, defending champion England put the Indian batters under duress, restricting the host for 229 runs. But Bumrah and Sami saved India from blushes as 2019 winners were skittled out for 129 runs. Indian caravan moved to Mumbai for match against Sri Lanka. India notched up a formidable total of 357 runs. In reply, Sri Lanka crumbled to one of the lowest totals in the ODI history, scoring only 55 runs. Indian pacer Mohammad Sami ran amok, grabbing 5 wickets in 5 overs only. The match against South Africa, which was billed as the Clash of Titans, turned out to be lopsided. Proteas were bowled out for paltry 83 runs while chasing India's mammoth total of 326 runs. Wrecker in chief was Ravinder Jadeja, who ran through their middle order taking 5 scalps. This match was also special for Kohli as he equalled Sachin Tendulkar's record of 49 centuries in one-day internationals. As tournament progresses, Indian fans would hope for the host's dream run to continue. Pratik Singh, DD India.
Really a dream run of Indian team the way they are performing here at the World Cup, and former cricketer Ajay Mehra joins us to provide perspective on India's dominance in the 2023 Cricket World Cup. A very warm welcome, Ajay. The way India is bowling, the way they are batting. In the past, we saw teams like West Indies, Australia dominated the World Cup, but such sort of domination, I think we haven't seen from any team. What's the reason you find behind such dominance of Indian team at this ongoing World Cup?
Yeah, absolutely. You rightly mentioned, because complete domination, just the skills they have shown, just the ability they have shown. I think the best thing about India is, every player knows their role pretty well and they're performing to their role. You see someone like Rohit Sharma, just the way he's led this side, the way he's batted. Virat Kohli, the senior campaigners, they have excelled. Shubman Gill, in phases, he's batted really well. And, he's a class apart. We all know that Shreyas Iyer, a couple of matches he missed earlier on, but once again, he's back in form. And the best part for me has been the bowling. Now, if you have the ability to pick up those wickets and put the opposition under pressure, I think that's the biggest ability for any side. And, no side, I feel, even in the 70s when West Indies were playing, they didn't have such a kind of run-up towards the semi-final. Every team, they lost 1 or 2 games, but this Indian side has looked phenomenal. And I think just the fact that, they are performing according to their abilities. They are playing, of course, at home. The crowd support is there. But also the fact that, sometimes when there's a crowd support, the crowd is backing you, the pressure also adds on. But I think the way this team has soaked in that pressure, the ability they have shown, you see the bowlers as well, Kuldeep, Jadeja, whenever they got the opportunities, they have delivered. Mohammad Shami, since Hardik got injured, he came into the side and he's looked absolutely a class apart. The movement, the lateral movement that he gets, the pace which he's bowling with. And you see all the 3 seamers, also the fact, they are bowling 140 plus. Bumrah, Siraj, Shami. So it's not easy for the opposition at all. I think it's the quality that the Indian side has. That's the reason it has been on a roll so far in this World Cup.
Ajay, the way you said that there is a complete domination by our bowler, our batsman, but talking about the power play, Rohit Sharma, leading the chart with 265 runs in the power play, striking at 130.54 and averaging 88.33 after 8 innings. As a team India, they tops the charts with the 512 runs in power play, outshining their opponent, and same in the bowling department also. They are the leaders as far as the number of wickets taken in the power play after South Africa, but there is we can say a balance in Indian side. The way the Indian bowlers are performing, every department is classified. Do you think their performance in the power play was the key to success in this World Cup?
I totally agree with you. Absolutely. Because, you got to set the tone. When you're playing against top side, when you're playing against strong sides, you got to set the tone. And that's exactly what India is doing with the bat and with the ball. With the ball, they're picking up those early wickets. You mentioned about, there's a strike rate, also the economy that with someone like Bumrah and Siraj are bowled with. In the power play, I thought when India comes to bat, Rohit Sharma, he has got too many big runs. But, he's been terrific. Just the kind of pressure he puts on the opposition, just the kind of shots he plays early on, and just the impetus that is provided by him. becomes much easier for someone like Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, or even Shubman Gill, when they come into bat. So I think, you're absolutely right, because the kind of start India have had, that's the big thing for them. And I think, it's been a collective effort. Yes, you can name one or two batsmen, you can name someone like Virat Kohli, who's been exceptional so far. But I think, it's been collective effort, even by the openers, by the middle order batsmen. And the best thing is every player, as I mentioned earlier as well, they know their role here. They know what to do against offsides. And, we see teams like England, Australia, even Pakistan crumble against India. It's just the quality that India has. And I think the momentum, just the way they are playing, I think it's been absolutely stupendous. It's been outstanding from the Indian side.
Ajay, as you said, that every player in this team knows his role, what he has to do. But one thing I would like to ask about the Mohammad Shami, and he was initially benched for the 3 matches after that when he was introduced in the team after the injury of the Hardik Pandya. The way he bowled just mesmerized the whole cricketing world. So, what do you think the reason? How was the difference? What's the difference between Mohammad Shami before that and after he entered in this World Cup? So, what different he did this time?
One thing, every player wants to be the playing 11. And, he was out for a few games. And at times, a player like Mohammad Shami, who's got an ability, he knows that, once he's got to come back, he's got to perform. And just the hunger that he's shown, the fire in the belly that he's shown, also the ability that he has. I've seen him bowl so many brilliant spells, even in domestic cricket. He's a great bowler. There's no doubt about it. He's a champion bowler. Once he gets his line and length and sorted out, and he's so accurate as well. He's always coming hard at the batsman. The biggest thing for me is the one, he's got that pace. Secondly, he's got that fitness, that rhythm behind him, and the ability to move the ball both ways. That makes very difficult. Being an opening batsman myself, I know if a bowler is bowling with pace and not moving the ball, then you can really handle pace. But once the bowler is bowling with pace and getting that movement, it's always going to be difficult. Bowling in that channel, in that corridor, that's exactly what Mohammad Shami does very often. And I think, just the hunger that he had, he wanted to succeed, he wanted to prove himself. And we all know, and also the fact that, before he didn't play the few matches, as you rightly mentioned, early part, because Hardik was there, he was absolutely match fit. Was practicing in the nets. He was going through the drills. His fitness levels, as I mentioned, were phenomenal. He might be aging, but he knows that, he's got to deliver. He's got to, keep his place in the side. And I think he's a champion bowler. That's exactly what he's done, picking up those wickets. And I also thought that spell against New Zealand in Dharamshala, where he picked up those 5 wickets, gave him that immense confidence, that he can do it in this World Cup.
So true, that spell definitely changed the complexion even for Shami, because the way he is bowling, and we are hoping that he will continue this thing as the tournament is reached the knockout stage. And Ajay, always a knockout stage match is a different ball game, a different pressure is there. And last time we saw India was there in the semi-finals, and they were against the New Zealand side. Again, a deja vu situation is here. So do you think this time the way India is batting and dominating, the way they are playing, their bowlers are firing in unison, this time that Indian team is a different level and they will not bow down to the pressure the way the last time they were in the semi-finals of this that tournament?
Yeah, one thing more that, we all know we lost the semi-final against New Zealand, but those conditions were different. Now the World Cup is in India. And India, in India, there's the confidence, there's the morale they have, the crowd support they'll be having at the Wankhede Stadium. That's going to be tremendous as well. Mumbai, we all know, is the home place for the Indian captain as well, Rohit Sharma. He knows the conditions pretty well. But, it's going to be, again, it's going to be a challenge for India. They can't be complacent. One thing is for sure that New Zealand also are a very good side. What's happened in the league phase, India have done pretty well. But yes, the confidence always reflects, when you, as a batsman, you got runs, as a bowler, you've taken wickets. I think that will be really giving good stead to the entire side. But against New Zealand, India know that, they're against a very strong opposition because, Wankhede, we know that's a red clay surface. There's going to be bounce as well. New Zealand also have some, quality seam bowlers like Trent Bolt in the ranks. So I think, it's going to be a challenge, and the batting has looked phenomenal. Rachin Ravindra, just the way he's batted, Kane Williamson, also in the middle order, the captain the side. So it's going to be a challenge for India. But yes, I think just the momentum that India have, gone into the semi-finals, just the confidence they have had, just the ability they have shown. I think, it's going to be a cracker of a game, but I think I'll go with 60-40 in India's favor in that semi-final.
So semi-final, as the Ajay is saying, that is in India's favor. So as far as the way India performed, 8 out of 8 matches, 8 win by comprehensive margins, and we always know that maintaining an unbeaten run is very difficult task. But in the history of the ODI World Cup, we saw the teams like Australia, teams like West Indies, even Sri Lanka has done that, remaining unbeaten in the tournament and lifting the tournament. So this time, the way India is performing, the way they are batting, bowling, and even the fielding is quite good. Do you think India can remain unbeaten, can finish the tournament unbeaten and lift the trophy?
Absolutely. I think very much possible. Of course, they have a game tomorrow, and then they have the two big games coming up. So I think it's a big possibility, and just the kind of team India are. And I think, as Rahul Dravid also mentioned, that they can't be complacent even for tomorrow's game against Netherlands. They want to play the best playing 11, the playing 11 that will be playing in the semi-finals as well. And I think those are good signs, because you are taking it easy. You're not thinking that you're playing against Netherlands. You want to give your best, foot forward. You want to, be at your best as a side. And you're right, absolutely. It could be possible that India doesn't even lose one game in this tournament, in this World Cup. So I think this quality, and if India does that, one thing is for sure, this will be probably the greatest team ever as far as Indian team is concerned for the one-dayers that has ever played, the World Cup. Because, every team, in Indian side, of course, we all know the 83, in the 2011, India won. But, they lost a few games as well. Few games were tied as well. But I think this Indian side looked absolutely dominant. And they have the ability to now just win those 3 games and lift the World Cup as well. India are for sure, everybody's mentioning about that. They are the favorites now. This is the kind of cricket they have played. But again, the knockout stage is knockout stage. So, Rohit Sharma, the seniors, Rahul Dravid will be aware of that. They can't take someone like New Zealand lightly as well. And even, if India win the semi-finals, Australia and South Africa will have to see their winner in the semis. So, all are very good sides. All are sides who can really, rattle the opposition on the given day. So I think it's going to be great. But I think India could be a side that remains unbeaten in the World Cup.
So true, the way India has performed in this World Cup is great, and we are hoping that they will maintain this unbeaten run, because in the past also we have saw the team have maintained the unbeaten run and they lifted the World Cup. Thanks, Ajay, for joining and giving a perspective of this, we can say, India's performance in the World Cup and their journey so far. And thanks for joining and giving your views and helping us to understand the India's dominance World Cup. Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Now shifting to other story that is also from the World Cup. Batting maestro Virat Kohli slammed a record equaling 49th one-day international century as he drew level with legendary Sachin Tendulkar for most runs in the format. Firing the long-awaited ton, Kohli got 3-figure mark of 119 balls as his 100 was laced with 10 boundaries. Kohli's century came against South Africa at the iconic Eden Gardens in Kolkata in India's 8th game of this World Cup.
Indian cricketer Virat Kohli has been dominating the Cricket World Cup with his stellar performance. Virat Kohli added yet another feather to his cap. During ICC Cricket World Cup match against South Africa in Kolkata's Eden Gardens, King Kohli equalled Sachin Tendulkar's record of 49 centuries in one-day internationals. The star Indian batsman reached this milestone when he hit Kagiso Rabada for a single. His innings was studded with 10 boundaries. In his career, he slammed maximum number of 10 tons against Sri Lanka, followed by 9 against the West Indies and 8 centuries against Australia. Earlier, Virat Kohli completed 1,000 ODI runs during the ongoing edition of ICC Men's Cricket World Cup against Team Sri Lanka in Mumbai. The former captain made his international debut back in the year 2008. Virat Kohli has accomplished numerous feats in the past 15 years. Virat Kohli also notched up his first century against Sri Lanka, and this was back in the year 2009 at the Eden Gardens. He has scored over 13,000 runs in 289 ODI matches with 4,900 In test matches, his record is equally impressive. He has gathered over 8,600 runs across 111 matches with 29 hundreds and 29 half-centuries. Under his captaincy in test cricket, India won 40 out of the 68 games and lost 17 and 11 were drawn. Virat has led India in 95 ODIs, winning 65, losing 27. One match was tied and 2 ended in no results. Now on his 35th birthday, Virat Kohli equalled Sachin Tendulkar's record. This would be one of his best accomplishments, and Indian fans would now hope for more such exploits from him in the coming semi-finals as well.
So a stupendous feat for Virat Kohli, matching Sachin Tendulkar's record. Now shifting focus to European football, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and their Inter Milan and all qualified for the last 16 of the Champions League. Last week, Man City also booked their berth in the pre-quarterfinals of the Europe's top competition. Real Madrid cruised past Sporting Braga at the Bernabeu to reach the last 16 of the Champions League. Real manager Carlo Ancelotti rested several regular starters, including top scorer Jude Bellingham with a shoulder injury, but the 14 times champions maintained their 100% record to lead Group C with 12 points from 4 games. Meanwhile, Harry Kane scored twice as Bayern Munich beat Galatasaray to reach the last 16 of the Champions League. This 2-1 win clinched Bayern's 28th consecutive trip to the Champions League knockout stage. A late penalty by Lautaro Martinez helped Inter Milan to book their berth in the Champions League last 16 stage. Meanwhile, Real Sociedad edged closer to a place in the knockout stage of the Champions League with a comfortable 3-1 win over Benfica. It was Sociedad's 3rd consecutive Champions League win. Now some news from the domestic front. The Gatka, a traditional Sikh martial art, is included in the 37th edition of the National Games as a demonstration sport. Gatka is a style of fighting which uses wooden sticks. It originated in the 15th century but has undergone a revival in the 20th century and is now usually performed as a sword dance at the various Sikh festivals. A traditional sport like Gatka is an integral part of the Indian culture which needs to be popularized. More in this exclusive report by our correspondent Suchitra Bhardwaj.
Gatka, a traditional Sikh martial art, is included in the 37th National Games as a demonstration sport. Players practicing this martial art form for years are elated that finally Gatka is getting popular pan-India and it will take the sport to new heights.
I have playing this game since last 10 years. So being a player of Gatka, I am feeling very proud that Gatka has been included in Goa Nationals, in 37th National Games of India, and this is for the very first time, and being here I am feeling very proud.
Combat sports are an instant hit with the spectators. The school children who came to watch the games were totally enjoying watching the game and also expressed the desire to learn the art form.
I had come first time to see national games. I am feeling very proud that national games are in our Goa. I am excited to see and I will like to play also.
Gatka Federation of India is happy with the kind of support Gatka is getting from the government now.
आपको ये बताना चाहूँगा कि अभी ये गेम खेलो इंडिया में आ चुका है. इस बार 3rd टाइम खेला जाएगा खेलो इंडिया में एंड दिस ईयर हमने SCFI में स्कूल गेम्स फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया में इसको इंक्लूड करवा दिया है. नेशनल में इस बार डेमो बेस पे है. डेफिनेटली अगले साल ये मेडल टैली में आ जाएगा. तो अगला टारगेट हमारा एशिया कप और वर्ल्ड कप का है.
It is important to popularize and practice traditional sports like Gatka as they are an integral part of the Indian culture.
It is a part of government's initiative to popularize our traditional sports, and it will ultimately lead to this sport getting popular and more players taking part in it. With camera person Sumit Dhiman, this is Suchitra reporting for DD India from Goa.
So traditional sports are getting limelight, and we are hoping that in future also they will be included in the more upcoming mega events. So that's all in this edition of the Sports 360 Degree. We hope you enjoyed the highlights and analysis of the latest sporting events. Make sure to tune in again next week for more exciting action from the world of sports. Until then, stay healthy and keep cheering for your favorite teams. Namaskar.